What did your first recording setup look like back then, or what was the first studio you recorded at when you started?
It was really at the crazy part about I just posted this today. It was at Blue Fetty studio, and then I used to probably take 2 hours of shit to lay a verse. So he left me in the studio and told me, man, listen, we was up in there all night. He like, man, figure that shit out. You feel me? I ain't finna keep doing this shit over and over. And shit, I figured that shit out. Since then, I always had a studio on the side of my bed. And shit, now I own a building up in Oakland, California, our Block Studios.
And how long have you been an owner of that?
Probably about 2 years now, a year and a half.
When it comes to owning a studio, is that profitable?
Yeah, it is. And then I do it with my brothers and them. So, we all keep it up. And then, like, I've been in the music game so long, so it's like I know everybody in Oakland. So, clientele ain't nothing.
Now, when it comes to Blue Fetty's studio, and Blue Fetty is your cousin, we've talked about him previously. What was that like? Are you able to describe what that was like back then? What that studio looked like, the equipment in it, just...
Shit, really, he just had a whole room set up with everything you need to record. And we was really trapping on some other shit, and that shit was just there, so we made it do what it do. Me, him, and my brother Calico, man.
Did you use this studio for the Baby Daddy song?
Nuh-uh. I had my studio by then.
Okay.
That was just only a couple years ago. When I started, I was like about 18 and shit back then. I was really just getting, like, fresh started.
And you were 26 when you created the Baby Daddy song.
Yeah.
What was the name of the official title?
Yo Baby Daddy.
Your Baby Daddy, right.
Yo.
Oh, Yo Baby
Yo
Daddy.
Baby Daddy.
And this was a home studio you had?
Yep. I just go take it to get professionally mixed and shit, make sure my shit sound good.
When you were 18, though, and you were in Blue Fetty's presence at his studio, were you nervous at the time?
No, hell no, because it was like family. I always been, we always been fucking around, so I wasn't nervous. It was just more, I was boozy. I was,
What does that, go ahead. What does that phrase mean?
Man, look at, see, we in Atlanta, look at, so basically it just mean like, cap. Like, not even cap, it's just like, you like, don't nobody even do that no more, like, or just like, you weak. Say it like that, you weak. But in the Bay, we be like, you boosie, man. You hella boosie. Look at his clothes boosie. Like,
Doesn't have to do anything with the rapper Little Boosie.
Nah, somebody asked me about that. Somebody asked me about that with the song. They was like, y'all talking about Boosie? I'm like, hell no. It's a phrase we use. It was way before we even knew it was Boosie.
Now, you weren't nervous, but were you intimidated at all?
Yeah, I was intimidated because he was raw. He was raw with beats, all that shit.
And did that intimidation feeling last past that session?
It probably wouldn't last, but I didn't feel like I wasn't last or none of that type of shit. I just felt like I just wasn't raw enough to do music, but I always wanted to do music.
How long before you think that feeling wore off, that intimidation feeling?
I still don't like my voice. That's why I push artists, you feel me? I might put an artist on a song. I just know I got the drive that ain't nobody got, you feel me? If I could pop, I could put on a nice couple, handful of people from Oakland,
What's the issue with your voice in your own personal opinion?
I just be thinking it's too deep and shit, I mean, not even far as I don't like my voice, it's just today's music, you feel me? Like, they sound, their style is different today, you feel me?
Now, is this your own personal opinion, or have you actually seen comments saying this stuff?
No, personal. They love my voice. I don't know why. I don't know what people see in it. People love it, but I don't be hearing that shit.
For time reference, it's August 2021 now. But what's your recording process like these days?
Really, it's just timing. Like, I sit on the beat now for a minute until I really got a concept and I really feel like going in there recording. I don't make myself record because I film, I own a recording studio, and I manage artists too, though. So I gotta want to feel like recording. And then I got so much music, I could just go shoot a music video, put it out, stay relevant.
Now, at this point, you like recording during the day or at night?
Day.
Why?
I got a son. I've been raising my oldest son on my own since he was 6 months. He's 11 now, so I be having responsibilities and shit.
What's your relationship like with the child's mother?
She just ain't around. I asked me to watch him when he was 6 months, and that's been that.
Are you a loner in the studio?
Yeah, nowadays, I used to like hella niggas in the studio. Now I just might do it when ain't nobody around or none of that.
And why the change there?
It's just not wanting to do a song with nobody, and also just wanting to not even let nobody hear it until I'm done mixing it or until I put it out, really, to be honest.
Notice any difference in the actual music when you did have others around versus recording or creating a recording as a loner?
Just the music got bigger because it's just like not putting nobody on there because they dare and not just doing it because they dare or, bruh, jump on this or, just really thinking about like, okay, he sound good on this, let me go there. Or if not, let me do it like this because it sound good like this. I think it's much better. Focus on the sound now.
You record inside the mic booth or outside of it?
Inside the mic booth, standing up. Hate that sitting down shit.
What's wrong with it?
I just can't I'm an energy type of person and, and then I switch, like when I'm rapping at 16, I might be animated, creative, stuff like that. So can't do that sitting down.
Why choose the inside of the mic booth? Some choose the outside of it.
I did the outside long enough on the side of my bed. So I just try to do it the best way I can.
Notice any difference in the actual music when you recorded outside the mic booth versus inside?
To me, I don't, because I go to the same engineer for all my mixing and mastering, so he don't make it sound crazy anyway. But I know it's a difference, but I don't hear it.
Now, when you're in the recording studio, top 3 things you need.
Weed, backwoods, beats. That's it. Weed, backwood, and beats.
When it comes to marijuana, is it for medical purposes or recreational?
Recreational. I used to need syrup and perks though too. I just shook them perks.
Quit?
Yeah.
You quit perks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was sick.
Now, when it comes to marijuana, is it a particular strain?
Nah, I just fuck with hella exotic. Oakland, we got the best, so it's just flavors. I get tired of smoking the same strain.
Because it's something you need, I asked you top 3 things you need in the studio. Are you addicted to marijuana?
Sure. I think I am.
Has smoking ever been an issue for your voice in the studio?
It's always been hella deep like this.
Ever had to end a session because of marijuana?
Hell no.
Now, the backwoods, that's for the marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a certain flavor of backwoods?
Honey. Sweet. Just them two.
When you record, ever record drug-free in the studio? Nothing in your system?
No.
All your music's always been under the influence of marijuana?
Mm-hmm.
Or perks?
Yeah, for sure.
And I do want to talk about perks a little bit later in this conversation. But when it comes to marijuana for you, was that, and recording in the studio, was that natural experimentation? Was that influence?
No, it was natural. I probably started smoking 12. I probably started smoking weed when I was like 12 and shit. And that was like, yeah.
When you did do perks, would you do perks In your recording sessions as well, or you were just talking about that's something you shook off, just generally speaking?
I used to wake up with them motherfuckers, go to sleep with them motherfuckers, eat lunch with them motherfuckers. So I had to shake them. You feel me? That shit was fucking me up.
How long have you been
3 months.
away from perks? 3 months. Now, when you did do perks, would you take a perk and you would smoke marijuana at the same time?
Yep, and sip syrup. Yep, go in there and knock out some bangers in that motherfucker.
When it comes to your marijuana usage, of course, in the studio here, that's the topic. Anyone in the music industry, and when I say music industry, I mean advisor, consultant, management, things of that nature, encourage your marijuana usage or discourage you from it?
Discouraged me from it. Like, people try to tell me to leave that shit alone, all that type of stuff, but God bless them.
Have you ever made an actual song about marijuana?
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of it?
I don't even remember, man. That shit was, I think it was How High. Yeah, I think it was called How High. It was an old song remixed to that Do or Die beat. I forgot which one it was, but one of them old school hits though. It was some old shit, man.
What was the reaction to that song? Do you remember?
Nothing. Shit was bullshit when I first was starting.
Now, I do want to talk to you about you quitting Percocet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How did you quit exactly? Was it the flip of a light switch or like flip of a light switch cold turkey, or did it take some time?
No, it was cold turkey. I mean, as far as me wanting to, took some time. But when I did it, that shit was cold turkey, man. And I was fucked up and shit, man. Shaking all on the floor and shit. Like, nobody never knew, though. I'd get up and go hustle, work every day still. As soon as I get in the house, I'd just be weak, man.
I know you're 3 months clean from it at this point, as you mentioned in the conversation, but after you had quit cold turkey, that initial quit, did you ever relapse?
Mm-mm.
Did you have a support system at all with this?
Not really. I had people around me checking on me and shit, but I didn't really have no support system. And it was something I wanted to do, though. Like, ain't no pressure, ain't nobody like, you need to. Like, I did it for me, so I took whatever came with it.
Now, what have you noticed health-wise since you quit 3 months ago?
More energy. Yep.
What have you noticed music-wise since you quit 3 months ago?
Doing lesser songs. Doing lesser songs, man. Having a lesser urge to even do music.
Is that a good or bad thing?
Bad. Bad. That shit had me floating. I just go in there and knock out hella songs or, but I know I could do better, though.
Has quitting this addiction turned into another addiction of some sort?
I want to say no.
Because sometimes that happens. People will
no.
quit an addiction and it'll lead to something else. Doesn't have to be drugs. Could be something totally different, but...
CMOS shit.
CMOS?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You ain't never heard of CMOS?
I heard of CMOS, yeah.
I think it's supposed to give us like 92 minerals out of the 100 and some minerals in our body. So just on some healthy stuff.
Oh, so you're actually addicted to CMOS?
Yeah. I like to drink it, eat it now, stuff like that.
Now, circumstances could be different for everybody, but anything you would say to someone watching this that has a Percocet addiction themselves?
Shake that shit. Quit that shit, man. That shit it ain't what we rapping about. None of that, man. Quit that shit. You really could do better. For real.
How bad did it get for you when it came to its usage?
It really didn't get that bad, but like it got bad far as me understanding like that I needed to quit it when I was waking up to breakfast, pop one, lunch, pop one, go to bed, pop one, get high, pop one, go to the studio, pop, no matter what I do. You know what I'm saying? So.
And was this a self-realization, or did someone pull you to the side and...
Self-realization. People probably seen me, but probably didn't say nothing. But for me, I knew I had to shake it, so I shook it.
No one ever tried to sit you down and say, hey, we got to knock this off type of thing, an intervention?
No. We don't really got that around Oakland, no interventions or nothing. If anything, they gonna pop them with you.
Now, how long do you think you were addicted to Percocet?
It was only probably like 3 years, 2 years.
Ever calculated how much you probably spent on that addiction when you were on it?
No, I didn't even count. I know messing with that and serve, I done probably spent about $250,000.
What did this entire experience teach you? What did you learn from overcoming this addiction of Percocet?
What did I learn overcoming it?
Yeah, just the whole entire experience. Just you being addicted to it, you quitting, anything and everything under that umbrella. What did this entire experience teach you? What did you learn from this stuff, if anything? And if you answered it already, that's okay too. You don't got to
I
answer.
didn't answer it, but I just really learned that my body was messed up and wore out. You feel me? Like, no matter what, I was weighed down. And I got so much energy now and all that type of stuff.
Never overdosed on it or anything.
No.
And it was
God.
Go ahead.
Thank God.
And it was always authentic Percocet?
I don't mess with anybody. Excuse me. But I don't mess with anybody.
In regards to this topic, if you could turn back the hands of time, would you have done anything different?
No, because I know what I know now. So I would say no, but I'll say no. I think I'm here for a reason, and I know what I know for a reason, and, you know, God put me in this position for a reason.
Anything else you want to mention in regards to a Percocet addiction or question I didn't ask about it people may want to know?
No, just, you know, if you're young, just get off that shit, man, you know. It don't even matter if you're young or old, man. Shake that shit. You could do better. So much more to live for.
Was it worth it? The amount of money you spent on it?
Yeah. You're going to have me say, do good, kids, and then say, is it worth it? Yes. But yeah, because of the music, man, I made some fire-ass music. And I ain't never made no music like that before, to be honest. Just to be 100 with the crowd.
And speaking of that, what's been your biggest song, in your opinion, so far?
Fire, Future and Mozzie. That one just went crazy when I put it out.
When you created or recorded that song, was it under the influence of Percocet?
Yep. I said it in the lyrics.
Because that's been your biggest song and you were under that influence there of that drug, do you feel like you got to go back to it?
No. I'll just make a bigger song.
Just curious there.
Yeah. I'll just make a bigger song. I think I already made a bigger song, too. We're going to see.
And is that a challenge in it of itself for you? Can I make a bigger song, not on Percocet, that tops that song when you were on Percocet?
Is it a challenge for me? No.
Yeah. Okay.
No, because I want to do better every time I make music. So I think about doing bigger than the next one. I never thought I could do bigger than Your Baby Daddy. and it ain't even worldwide.
Okay, wrapping up this conversation about your recording process. Craziest studio story, if you have one.
Craziest studio stories. It's just really getting high with my brother Calico and shit. That nigga used to sip syrup and just fall asleep standing up. Crazy, man. So, I mean, really not fall, none of that shit. Just fall asleep standing up. Nah, no. Wake up, knock out a verse. Crazy.
Now, when it comes to syrup, you also quit that as well, or is that something you still take?
I quit it. I was sick like 30 days ago, so I sipped something and brought me back. But yeah, I quit it though. I don't got the urge for it. I don't spend my money on it, shit like that. I get it for the low, sell it, don't touch it. So I think I'm done with it.
Was that an addiction too?
Yeah, cause I would have touched that shit. Anything I touch, I would have touched it. I could take an ounce out and still sell it. I could, you feel me, and still be dipping in it.
So with this particular drug, the syrup, you're only 30 days clean with it so far?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's, what, 60, 90 for the purse. Yeah.
And how long before you actually, would you consider that a relapse?
Yeah, I'll say the syrup was a relapse for sure.
How long were you off of it before you relapsed?
Just a couple weeks. That's the only one I really got like problems with for real, just going back and forth. But that shit's so expensive in Oakland though. That shit don't even give me an urge to even touch that shit though. So I don't trip off of it too much. It's just really the purse. That's what was fucking me up, and I was, thinking I needed for everything.
I know earlier when we were talking about how much you may have spent on the Percocet addiction, you said Percocet and syrup together might have been $250,000.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a 100% pie chart, what do you think the percentage of that $250,000 was cough syrup?
Cough syrup. I started that when I was, excuse me, go ahead.
No, but what percentage do you think of that $250,000 was syrup versus Percocet?
Cough syrup.
But what percentage would you say?
Oh, I want to say 80% cough syrup.
Okay.
That's because I started cough syrup way before Percocet. That shit started like when I was like 15, 16. Yeah. Rest in peace, Black, man. Louisiana.
Ever had sex in the studio?
Yeah. Yep. It was right on the side of my bed for years.
That's when you had the home studio. Do you still have that home studio set up?
Nah, I got rid of it when I built the studio so I wouldn't get lazy. Well, actually, we lost the building and had to get another building. So in the between time, I never hooked it up and then I sold it so I wouldn't get lazy within between that time to set it back up, get lazy, and it's right here. I didn't never do none of that. We looked for somewhere else, and we hooked it up.
Now, ever had sex in a professional studio? A non-home studio?
A non-home studio, no. Not yet.
And when you say you've had sex in the studio, because the studio was right there where your bed was at, are you considering sex in the studio because the studio setup just so happened to be right by your bed? Mm-hmm. Or were you actually creating a recording and then sex happens?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Both. When you got it like that, it just go down. From the air mattress to the motherfucking booth.
Did you ever record? Did you ever record the noises when you would have sex? Maybe for a skit, maybe for...
No, I made females do that shit. I wouldn't put them on blast like that. I wouldn't do that shit. Record, tell nobody. I wouldn't do none of that type of shit. You gotta want them to come back. You can't be doing that, Smallz.
Well, I didn't even mean you did it undercover. I mean, I meant like, hey, maybe you tell a female, look, I think for the next time we have sex, I want to record these noises. I got to skip for it. Set it up like that in a sense.
I ain't going to record it for none of y'all to listen to.
Just curious.
I recorded for me.